Hiram sent to King Solomon 120 talents of gold. And the queen of Sheba, having heard of the fame of Solomon in the name of the Lord, came to try him with hard questions. And entering into Jerusalem with a great train and riches, and camels that carried spices, and an immense quantity of gold and precious stones, she came to King Solomon, and spoke to him all that she had in her heart. And Solomon informed her of all the things she proposed to him. There was not any word the king was ignorant of, and which he could not answer her. And when the king of Sheba saw all the wisdom of Solomon, and the house which he had built, and the meat of his table, and the apartments of his servants, and the order of his ministers and their apparel, and the cupbearers, and the holocausts which he offered in the house of the Lord, she no longer had any spirit in her. And she said to the king, "The report is true which I heard in my own country concerning your words and concerning your wisdom. And I did not believe them that told me, until I came myself and saw with my own eyes, and have found that the half has not been told me. Your wisdom and your works exceed the fame which I heard. Blessed are your men, and blessed are your servants who stand before you always and hear your wisdom. Blessed be the Lord your God, whom you have pleased, and who has set you upon the throne of Israel. Because the Lord has loved Israel forever, and has appointed you king to do judgment and justice." And she gave the king 120 talents of gold, and of spices a very great store, and precious stones. There was brought no more such abundance of spices as these which the queen of Sheba gave to King Solomon. The navy also of Hiram, which brought gold from Ophir, brought from Ophir great plenty of thyine trees and precious stones. And King Solomon loved many strange women, besides the daughter of Pharaoh, and women of Moab, and of Ammon, and of Edom, and of Sidon, and of the Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said to the children of Israel, "You shall not go in unto them, neither shall any of them come in to yours, for they will most certainly turn away your heart to follow their gods." And to these was Solomon joined with a most ardent love. And he had 700 wives as queens, and 300 concubines, and the women turned away his heart. And when he was now old, his heart was turned away by women to follow strange gods. And his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. But Solomon worshipped Astarte, the goddess of the Sidonians, and Moloch, the idol of the Ammonites. And Solomon did that which was not pleasing before the Lord, and did not fully follow the Lord, as David his father. Then Solomon built a temple for Chamos, the idol of Moab, on the hill that is over against Jerusalem, and for Moloch, the idol of the children of Ammon. And he did in this manner for all his wives that were strangers, who burnt incense and offered sacrifice to their gods. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his mind was turned away from the Lord, the God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not follow strange gods. But he did not keep the things which the Lord commanded him. The Lord therefore said to Solomon, "Because you have done this, and have not kept my covenant and my precepts which I have commanded you, I will divide and rend your kingdom, and will give it to your servant. Nevertheless, in your days I will not do it for David your father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of your son." The book of Ecclesiastes. The words of Ecclesiastes, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. "Vanity of vanities," said Ecclesiastes, "vanity of vanities, and all is vanity. What has a man more of all his labor that he takes under the sun? One generation passes away, and another generation comes, but the earth stands forever. The sun rises and goes down, and returns to his place, and there rising again, makes his round by the south, and turns again to the north. The spirit goes forward, surveying all places round about, and returns to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea does not overflow. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, they return to flow again. All things are hard, man cannot explain them by word. The eye is not filled with seeing, neither is the ear filled with hearing. What is it that has been? The same thing that shall be. What is it that has been done? The same that shall be done. Nothing under the sun is new, neither is any man able to say, Behold, this is new, for it has already gone before in the ages that were before us. There is no remembrance of former things, nor indeed of those which hereafter are to come. Shall there be any remembrance with them that shall be in the latter end? I, Ecclesiastes, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I proposed in my mind to seek and search out wisely concerning all things that are done under the sun. This painful occupation has God given to the children of men, to be exercised therein. I have seen all things that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. The perverse are hard to be corrected, and the number of fools is infinite. I have spoken in my heart, saying, Behold, I am become great, and have gone beyond all in wisdom that were before me in Jerusalem. And my mind has contemplated many things wisely, and I have learned. And I have given my heart to know prudence and learning, and errors and folly. And I have perceived that in these also there was labor, and vexation of spirit. But in much wisdom there is much indignation, and he that adds knowledge also adds labor. I said in my heart, I will go and abound with delights and enjoy good things. And I saw that this also was vanity. Laughter I counted error, and to mirth I said, Why are you vainly deceived? I thought in my heart to withdraw my flesh from wine, that I might turn my mind to wisdom, and might avoid folly, till I might see what was profitable for the children of men, and what they ought to do under the sun all the days of their life. I made me great works. I built me houses, and planted vineyards. I got me men servants and maid servants, and had a great family, and herds of oxen, and great flocks of sheep, above all that were before me in Jerusalem. I heaped together for myself silver and gold, and the wealth of kings and provinces. I made me singing men and singing women, and the delights of the sons of men, cups and vessels to serve to pour out wine. And I surpassed in riches all that were before me in Jerusalem. My wisdom also remained with me. All things have their season, and in their times all things pass under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to destroy and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather, a time to embrace and a time to be far from embraces, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time of love and a time of hatred, a time of war and a time of peace. What has man more of his labor? I've seen the trouble which God has given the sons of men to be exercised in it. He has made all things good in their time and has delivered the world to their consideration, so that man cannot find out the work which God has made from the beginning to the end. And I have known that there was no better thing than to rejoice and to do well in this life. For every man that eats and drinks and sees good of his labor, this is the gift of God. I've learned that all the works which God has made continue forever. We cannot add anything, nor take away from those things which God has made, that he may be feared. That which has been made, the same continues. The things that shall be have already been, and God restores that which is past. I saw under the sun in the place of judgment wickedness, and in the place of justice iniquity. And I said in my heart, God shall judge both the just and the wicked, and then shall be the time of everything. I said in my heart concerning the sons of men that God would prove them and show them to be like beasts. I turned myself to other things, and I saw the oppressions that are done under the sun, and the tears of the innocent, and they had no comforter, and they were not able to resist their violence, being destitute of any help. And I praised the dead rather than the living, and I judged him happier than them both that is not yet born, nor has seen the evils that are done under the sun. Again, I considered all the labors of men, and I remarked that their industries are exposed to the envy of their neighbor. So in this also there is vanity and fruitless care. The fool folds his hands together and eats his own flesh, saying, better is a handful with rest than both hands full with labor and vexation of mind. Considering, I found also another vanity under the sun. There is but one, and he has not a second, no child, no brother, and yet he does not cease to labor, neither are his eyes satisfied with riches, and neither does he reflect, saying, for whom do I labor and defraud my soul of good things? And this also is vanity and a grievous vexation. It is better, therefore, that two should be together than one, for they have the advantage of their society. If one shall fall, he shall be supported by the other. Woe to him that is alone, for when he falls, he has none to lift him up. And if two lie together, they shall warm one another. How shall one alone be warmed? And if a man prevail against one, two shall withstand him. A threefold cord is not easily broken. Better is a child that is poor and wise than a king that is old and foolish, who does not know to foresee for hereafter. There's also another evil which I've seen under the sun, and that frequent among men. A man to whom God has given riches and substance and honor, and his soul wants nothing of all that he desires. Yet God does not give him the power to eat thereof, but a stranger shall eat it up. This is vanity and a great misery. If a man fathers 100 children, and lives many years, and attains to a great age, and his soul make no use of the goods of his substance, and he be without burial, of this man I pronounce that the untimely born is better than he. For he came in vain and goes to darkness, and his name shall be wholly forgotten. He has not seen the sun, nor known the distance of good and evil, although he lived 2,000 years, and has not enjoyed good things. Do not all make haste to one place? All the labor of man is for his mouth, but his soul shall not be filled. What does the wise man have more than the fool? And what the poor man but to go there where there is life? It is better to see what you may desire than to desire what you can't know. But this also is vanity and presumption of spirit. What does a man need to seek things that are above him, whereas he does not know what is profitable for him in his life, in all the days of his pilgrimage, and the time that passes like a shadow? Or who can tell him what shall be after him under the sun? A good name is better than precious ointments, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting. For in that we are put in mind of the end of all, and the living thinks what is to come. Anger is better than laughter, because by the sadness of the countenance the mind of the offender is corrected. The heart of the wise is where there is mourning, and the heart of fools where there is mirth. It is better to be rebuked by a wise man than to be deceived by the flattery of fools. For as the crackling of thorns burning under a pot, so is the laughter of a fool. Now this also is vanity. Oppression troubles the wise, and shall destroy the strength of his heart. Better is the end of a speech than the beginning. Better is the patient man than the presumptuous. Do not be quickly angry, for anger rests in the bosom of a fool. Do not say, "What do you think is the cause that former times were better than they are now?" For this manner of question is foolish. Wisdom with riches is more profitable, and brings more advantage to them that see the sun. For as wisdom is a defense, so money is a defense. But learning and wisdom excel in this, that they give life to him that possesses them. Consider the works of God, that no man can correct whom he has despised. We'll continue on with this one more section, since we have some time, with the results of Solomon's sins. The history of Jeroboam. Jeroboam also, the son of Nabat, an Ephrathite of Sareda, a servant of Solomon, whose mother was named Saruah, a widow woman, lifted up his hand against the king. And this is the cause of his rebellion against him, for Solomon built Millo and filled up the breach of the city of David his father. And Jeroboam was a valiant and mighty man, and Solomon, seeing him a young man, ingenious and industrious, made him chief over the tributes of all the house of Joseph. So it came to pass at that time that Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, and the prophet Ahiah the Shilonite, clad with a new garment, found him in the way, and they too were alone in the field. And Ahiah, taking his new garment with which he was clad, divided it into 12 parts. And he said to Jeroboam, "Take for yourself 10 pieces. For thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give you 10 tribes. Solomon therefore sought to kill Jeroboam, but he arose and fled into Egypt to Shishak, the king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the words of Solomon, all that he did, and his wisdom, behold, they are all written in the book of the words of the days of Solomon. And the days that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel were 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David his father. And Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. This is 931 BC. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for there were all Israel come together to make him king. But Jeroboam the son of Nabat, who was yet in Egypt, a fugitive from the face of King Solomon, hearing of his death, returned out of Egypt. And they sent and called him. And Jeroboam came, and all the multitude of Israel, and they spoke to Rehoboam, saying, Your father laid a grievous yoke upon us. Now therefore, take off a little of the grievous service of your father, and of his most heavy yoke which he put on us, and we will serve you. And he said to them, Go till the third day, and come to me again. And when the people was gone, Rehoboam took counsel with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and he said, What counsel do you give me that I may answer this people? They said to him, If you will yield to this people today, and condescend to them, and grant their petition, and will speak gentle words to them, they will always be your servants. But he left the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and consulted with young men that had been brought up with him, and stood before him. And the king answered the people roughly, leaving the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and he spoke to them according to the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, but I will add to your yoke. My father beat you with whips, but I will beat you with scorpions. And the king did not condescend to the people, for the Lord was turned away from him, to make good his word which he had spoken in the hand of Ahijah the Shilonite to Jeroboam the son of Nabat. Then the people, seeing that the king would not listen to them, answered him, saying, What portion do we have in David, or what inheritance in the son of Jesse? Go home to your dwellings, O Israel. Now David, look to your own house. So Israel departed to their dwellings. And Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt there. And going out from there, he built Phanuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people goes up to offer sacrifices in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem. And the heart of this people will turn to their lord Rehoboam, the king of Judah, and they will kill me and return to him. And finding out a device, he made 2 golden calves, and said to them, Do not go up to Jerusalem any more. Behold your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other in Dan. And this thing became an occasion of sin, for the people went to adore the calf as far as Dan. And he made temples in the high places, and priests of the lowest of the people who were not of the sons of Levi. And he appointed a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, after the manner of the feast that was celebrated in Judah. And going up to the altar, he did in like manner in Bethel, to sacrifice to the calves which he had made, and he placed in Bethel priests of the high places which he had made. After these words, Jeroboam did not come back from his wicked way, but on the contrary, he made of the meanest of the people priests in the high places. Whosoever was willing, he would fill his hand, and he was made a priest of the high places. And for this cause did the house of Jeroboam sin, and was cut off and destroyed from the face of the earth. 910 BC. And the Lord said to Ahijah, Behold, the wife of Jeroboam is coming in to consult you concerning her son that is sick. Thus and thus shall you speak to her. So, when she was coming in, and had made as if she were another woman, Ahijah heard the sound of her feet coming in at the door, and said, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why do you feign yourself to be another? But I am sent to you with heavy tidings. Go and tell Jeroboam. Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel. Forasmuch as I exalted you from among the people and made you prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it to you, and you have not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and followed me with all his heart, doing that which was well-pleasing in my sight. But you have done evil above all that were before you, and have made strange gods for yourself, and molten gods, to provoke my anger, and have cast me behind your back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evils upon the house of Jeroboam, and will cut off from Jeroboam him that pisses against the wall, and him that is shut up, and the last in Israel. And I will sweep away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam as dung is swept away, till all be clean. Them that shall die of Jeroboam in the city the dogs shall eat, and them that shall die in the field the birds of the air shall devour, for the Lord has spoken it. Arise, therefore, and go to your house, and when your feet shall be entering into the city, the child shall die. And the days that Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, and he slept with his fathers, and Nadab his son reigned in his stead. A note needs to be made about the dates going forward. A simple reading of all of the years given creates a contradiction between the timelines of Israel and Judah, until one realizes that they were using different systems for dating, which the compiler of this book was not necessarily fully aware of. It seems that in Israel, they started their years in the fall, and they counted the years of kings according to the civil calendar, which means if somebody became king in the late summer, then you'd count an entire year there. Whereas for Judah, they started the year in the spring, but they counted the years of the kings from the moment of their accession, and they considered the anniversary dates. And so that would be a more accurate count of years. And so the dates that I've included take account of this pattern. And Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord chose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam always. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried with them in the city of David, and Abias, his son, reigned in his stead. That was 914 BC. Now, in the 18th year of the reign of Jeroboam, the son of Nabat, Abias reigned over Judah, and he reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. But there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. And the rest of the words of Abias and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the words of the days of the king of Judah? And there was war between Abias and Jeroboam. And Abias slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa his son reigned in his stead, 911 BC. So in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa, king of Judah. and he reigned 41 years in Jerusalem. And he slept with his fathers, and was buried with them in the city of David his father. And Josaphat his son reigned in his place. 870 BC. But Nadab, the son of Jeroboam, reigned over Israel in the 2nd year of Asa, king of Judah, and he reigned over Israel 2 years. So 910 BC to 909 BC. And Baasa, the son of Ahias, of the house of Issachar, conspired against him and slew him in Gibbethon, which is the city of the Philistines. For Nadab and all Israel besieged Gibbethon, so Baasa slew him in the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his place. And when he was king, he cut off all the house of Jeroboam. He did not leave so much as one soul of his seed till he had utterly destroyed him. And there was war between Asa and Baasa, the king of Israel, all their days. In the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, Baasa, the son of Ahias, reigned over all Israel in Tirzah 24 years. So Baasa slept with his fathers and was buried in Tirzah, and Elah his son reigned in his stead. 886 BC. In the 26th year of Asa, king of Judah, Elah, the son of Baasa, reigned over Israel in Tirzah 2 years. And his servant Zambri, in 885 BC, who was captain of half the horsemen, rebelled against him. In the 27th year of Asa, king of Judah, Zambri reigned 7 days in Tirzah. Now the army was besieging Gibbethon, a city of the Philistines. And when they heard that Zambri had rebelled and slain the king, all Israel made Omri their king, who was general over Israel in the camp that day. And Omri went up, and all Israel with him from Gibbethon, and they besieged Tirzah. And Zambri, seeing that the city was about to be taken, went into the palace and burnt himself with the king's house, and he died. (880 BC). In the 31st year of Asa, king of Judah, Omri reigned over Israel 12 years. In Tirzah he reigned 6 years. And Omri slept with his fathers, and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. 874 BC. All right.